today I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about stress awareness. A lot of times as leaders, we get caught up in doing a lot for a lot of people and we don't take care of ourselves. So this is going to be a portion of doing self-care. It's so important to take time out to rejuvenate, recalibrate, and just take time for us leaders. A lot of times we are suffering in silence, and that doesn't have to be. So we provide a supportive platform for those who lead. I don't care if it's officially or unofficially. You don't have to have a title. You could be the head of your household. You could be a parent. You could be PTA, some kind of volunteer civic duty. Could be a manager in a large corporation or your own business. If anybody's putting pressure on you or you have the pressure of supporting someone else, to me, you're a leader. There's different types of leaders now. Don't get me wrong, but you're a leader, and I don't specify what type of leader you are, and I don't qualify to make sure you're the type of leader. I'm just looking at people who someone's always depending on you for something, and it's like, where do you go? Where do you go when you need support? So that's what this is all about, is trying to get you some ideas for self-care. Like I said, April is Stress Awareness Month. So I want to give you a couple of tips. Of course, on the spiritual side, where I'm not hooked up to any religious organization, any belief or practice. This is about going to the core of who you are and finding your solutions based on that. So whatever your belief is, that's fine. I don't care what your belief is. It's just at the core of it. We all have a lot of challenges, and it's based a lot of times on our beliefs that we have to be the superhero in our lives, or in our families' lives, in our personal lives, in our professional lives. And, it's like kind of like, where's that belief coming from? Is it coming from your religion? Is it coming from how you were brought up? Is it coming from the expectation on your occupation, or just where did you get that belief system from? So with this, I just have a couple of things to go over real quick. I would love to hear from you. If you like to kind of tell me a little bit like what's going on, if there's something you want to ask, you want to share, something like that, just let me know and I will recognize you and I'll do it as we go. Okay. So it's always funny looking at, Google and what they say is self-care, what therapists say is self-care, and which is great. And usually it's all about what they say is things you can do like outside of yourself, not what's really going on internally. It's like when you go to therapists, you go online, you look up self-care, and it's telling you activities to do. They'll say, slow your breathing, get exercise, listen to music, as a way to relieve stress, which is great. But you got to understand where stress is coming from. It has to do with your mind and the way you're thinking, and also a lot of times your belief system. So if you are doing all these things on the outside and your mind is still going crazy, your mind still is nonstop, what you're doing is making sure the therapists have a job. That's what you're doing. You're making sure that you can have somebody to come back to and have this continuous thing, because it's not going to really cure anything. It's not going to really stop. It may slow down and maybe become manageable, and maybe that's their goal, is to help you to manage your stress and not eliminate your stress. But this is for us spiritual people, it's very important for us to find really good solutions and really things that we can really do, because so many people are leaning on us. So many people are expecting us to be the superheroes of their lives, whether it's your family, it's your occupation, it's your just in life, period. You are the go-to person if you feel the stress. So, that's great. Go and exercise. I totally agree with these things. They say, slow your breathing, talk it out, set boundaries, eat nutritious foods, get outside and exercise, and listen to music. That's one of the first, 6 different things to do. And I don't disagree. But as spiritual people, we got to do it a step further. We have to, and the way that you can eliminate stress is first is by just understanding, not only understanding your situation, but understanding who you are and why things are coming at you and why people are relying on you. Who are you that people think they can lean on you? What do they see? Who do they think you are? How did you become this superhero figure in their lives? And obviously you have a certain gift. Obviously you have the ability, but doesn't mean the stress goes away. And sometimes we look to our left and look to our right and we're like, where's everybody else? Or who has my back? Or who has, who's looking out for me? And so as spiritual people, we got to understand that, one, we have a supernatural support system that definitely 100% has our back. And we have a whole community, a kingdom of our spiritual support system that we have that is here to assist us. So even if you have nobody here on this planet Earth and you feel that you're all by yourself, I just want to make sure we iterate that you are not alone. And let me tell you, God has agents all around the world. I don't care what their beliefs are. That anybody can be used to cross your path, to intervene and to help you at certain periods of time. That happened to me, matter of fact. We talked about that in my last segment, how I was feeling kind of some type of way and was feeling low. And it was a delivery person came and we ended up having a conversation and, it made me reevaluate and refocus on what the bottom line is and what I was trying to accomplish and help me to get back on track. So God can send anybody across your path to get you back on, because in the end of the day, you have to stay on course. No matter what the world is doing, no matter if it feels like it's double standard, it feels like it isn't fair, you still, if you are purpose driven and there's a purpose for your life, you have to stay on course no matter what obstacles get thrown in your path. So I just want to encourage you. This is all about encouraging the encourager. I just want to give you a couple of things to make sure you can understand. Not only do the physical activities, but understanding comes from within. Understanding is something that comes from knowing. And one of the things that I do, I focus on is Go Callies. It's my own acronym. It's GOKALYS. Go Callies, gift of knowing, accepting, and loving yourself. And so I go through this process of making you not only self-aware, but spiritually aware of who you are. So one of the things, is knowing. Okay, so knowing is not just cognitively saying, yeah, I know my situation, or, it's more of a understanding and awareness that's within, okay, when I talk about knowing. And so sometimes we have to take a pause and just step back. And this is what the secular world says about slow your breathing, okay? So on the spiritual side, we're taking a pause. We are taking a step back, and what we're doing is we're separating ourselves from the situation. We're creating space. Now, last segment, I talked about how to slow your mind. One of the things I said was say, hey, what are you thinking? And your mind is like, what? Because if you start focusing and kind of concentrating on what you're thinking, it's really interesting, because your mind, like I said last week, is like an unruly child that has been running around without supervision, without anybody paying attention. And so when you say, hey, what am I thinking? It's like this unruly child that's in your head, this mind that keeps going over and over with all these random thoughts, kind of freezes for a second. And then it's like, what? So if you learn how to just kind of pay attention to what you're thinking. And I did. I sat down and I asked, what am I thinking? And of course, it'll go in cycles. And by the time it repeats itself about 5 or 6, 7, 8 times, then it was like, okay, and it kind of slows down, and then it's like, oh, what else am I thinking? And then before it kind of slows down. So that's one of the techniques of how you can slow your mind down, and also that will help slow your breathing. Hi everybody, for those who are just joining us, we're talking about stress awareness. This is Stress Awareness Month. Of course, my name is Dorea. I own Dorea, the Gift of Spiritual Life Coach business. And I'm also a business strategist, but we're talking about spiritual health. And we are comparing it to what the secular world is saying compared to what us spiritual people should be doing. Like I said, spiritual is basically going from a point of understanding and whatever your beliefs are, or whoever you are as a person, and your foundation. So it's not tied to any religion or anything like that. It's basically understanding. And the first thing we're talking about is knowing, and we're talking about taking that separation and being able to, when you're in a situation, to step back and kind of just get back. And one of the things that you can think about comes from a scripture in the Bible talking about, I am given everything that pertains to life and godliness. And so when we talk about life, we're talking about everything in the physical world, anything that's coming at you, people, places, or things. Circumstances, situations, we've been given everything. That means every solution we have access to. And then not only in life, in our physical realm, but also godliness, which represents the supernatural realm. So we are fully equipped to take care of any type of problems and stuff we are going through. And this helps us with our stress level to be reassured that, hey, no matter what comes at me, no matter what I know what to do or not to do, no matter what the problem is, understand the solution came way before the problem. Matter of fact, the problem couldn't show up until the solution was in place. So your problem that you're facing, or the things that are stressing you out right now, can only be there if there was a solution already in place. Okay, so in the spiritual realm, we always have the solution before there's a problem. Matter of fact, there can't be a problem unless there's a solution. So understand that. So no matter what you're going through, no matter if you feel like the world is about to end, remember that, and kind of pause and reflect and make it a part of your thinking and grounding, and really wrap your mind around the idea that I have access to everything, both in the physical and non-physical realms. I mean, that is like so powerful. And when you realize that you have that, even if you don't think you have evidence of it, just wrapping your mind around it, and even if you can agree that this is likely to be true, as you are able to go through life and kind of sow this, water the seed and water this idea, it will become more evident in your life, and you'll see that you can pull on so many resources, not only physical, but supernatural resources that are available to you. So, knowing is all about stepping back, and in the secular world, they say, slow your breathing. Okay. So step back and just remember and say, I have everything that pertains to life and godliness. That means everything in the natural and supernatural realm. I have everything. So when you realize you have everything, then you kind of think about, well, then what is my true problem? And so when you realize that you have everything, it's like, okay, well, where is it? Then that's when you need to learn how to call upon it. So one time it happened to me. I said, well, maybe it's in the spiritual realm. It's not in the physical. God says who? He said, well, open your eyes. And I'm looking around in my physical eyes and I don't see anything. I said, God, open my eyes. And then all of a sudden I started seeing so many opportunities, so many uncultivated ideas that was around me, I called seeds, that was around me, that had the ability to manifest into the thing that I needed, into the answer that I was seeking. But God responds to us in seed form. So if you are looking for an apple tree full blown and full blossom with fruit hanging down, that's not how God works. That's just like people looking for actual government fiat currency to solve their problems. You know, God doesn't deal with fake. He's not going to give you just let rain and money just rain out of the air. He's going to give you seed. That's why everybody has the ability to get wealth, because it comes through seed form, an idea. So this is the time. This is why you would have to sit back and slow down and kind of wrap around the idea in your mind that you have everything that pertains to life and godliness, and realize there's seeds all around you. God will give you an idea, and then you have to learn how to cultivate, which is another segment, and we won't talk about that, but just know and just kind of plant that seed that this could be a possibility. Even if it doesn't seem like it's manifesting in your life, it is still there. That seed is still there. So if you have an opportunity, and this is something that you can kind of wrap your mind around, just ask God or whoever you believe in, just say, open my eyes. And let me tell you, you're not going to see a full grown tree. You're going to see a seed, which is an idea. Okay, a seed is an uncultivated idea. It's an idea that's there that you haven't paid any attention to. You didn't try to make it come into fruition, but that idea is there. And there's an idea you're probably grappling with for several years, and you've let other people snatch that seed away and didn't allow it to take root and grow. You may need to revisit what that idea is, because when it becomes full blown, it'll not only feed you and sustain you, but it'll be able to sustain the world around you. I mean, can you imagine you say, hey, I want to be important. I want to have purpose. I want to do this. And God gives you a seed, a little tiny seed. And you're like, wait a minute, hold up. You know, I'm thinking, God, you this big God, you can do everything. I'm thinking I want a forest. You know, but he gives you this little tiny little seed that looks insignificant, that doesn't look like it can do anything. You can't use it as a weapon. You can't use it anything. Matter of fact, if you try to eat it, you'll probably choke on it. But the beautiful thing about it is that seed holds the vision, holds the answer, holds entire forest. I mean, can you imagine a little tiny seed that can grow into a full grown 9-foot, 10-foot tree that produces fruit that people can use as apple cider, apple sauce. You can have apple juice, apple pie. You can do so many things. So many people are waiting, are starving and thirsty for what that seed that's inside of you is waiting to manifest. People are waiting for that fruit of your labor. So I encourage you, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're stressed out about, to know that you have the seed. And if you don't believe you have the seed, remember, you are the seed, first of all. And then what do seeds do when you're full grown and you become mature? Guess what? Each one of those apples in the apple trees have seeds in them. So first you got to look at, you are the seed. Yes, absolutely. And you are the seed, and then you know how to produce even more. So this is very much harvest time. This is time to be able to manifest. And that's why some people are stressed out. They're not stressed out because all this stuff is going on. They're stressed out because you are supposed to be mature enough to start manifesting this fruit or whatever it is that's inside of you, and you're resisting. and you're allowing other people to take your roots and taking up and uproot them. And no, you have to protect it, because it is up to you. No matter what happens around you, it is still your duty. It is still your purpose to become mature as a tree planted by the river. Isn't that true? So I just want to make sure we're almost done. If anybody has any questions, I just want to make sure, as Stress Awareness Month, I know the secular world tells you to go out there, work out, set your boundaries, eat nutritious food, listen to music, which is great. Please do that. But understand there's a spiritual level too as well, and that could be keeping you from having total and perfect peace. And that is because you're not fulfilling what you're supposed to do in your purpose. So make sure you pause, take a step back, and remember that you have everything that pertains to life and godliness. That means everything that has to do with the physical and non-physical. So I just want to thank you so much for stopping by. If you have any questions, put it out there. I'll make sure I can do a follow-up video, or in the comments I can respond. I'm here. I'm gonna try it again next week, Thursday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 Central. If you want to stop by again and see what's going on, we would love you to come by. Again, my name is Dorea. I own Dorea the Gift, a spiritual life coach business for leaders. We focus on spiritual health, financial wellness, business strategies, and leadership development. Thank you so much, and have a great, great, great night and great week.